So how did you get your start as a chef?
All right, so I grew up in South Carolina, went to Clemson. A lot of folks in my family went, and I was like, yeah, whatever, I guess I'll go to my state university. Went, and I just didn't love college. At that time, I kind of worked in and out of restaurants, but the Food Network was taking off, right? Emeril Lagasse on TV every day, all the rage with all that stuff. And it kind of made working in restaurants okay and like an acceptable thing. So I ended up going, instead of Johnson & Wales in Charleston, I chose to get out of South Carolina. I ended up at the Johnson & Wales in Norfolk. Went to culinary school, did an internship at Acacia in the late, like 99, 2000, and never left.
Acacia, what was one of your favorite restaurants that you worked in? Or did you just literally go from culinary school to Acacia?
Well, I worked at Chick's Oyster Bar while I was in Virginia Beach while I was in culinary school. And in truth, I don't know if let's say that was it, because like the other restaurant jobs that I had were like butcher shop, sandwich shop kind of places. And that was the real first like eye-opening, like, holy moly, this is different. This is crazy. This is not a little place at Clemson. This isn't I'm not in South Carolina anymore. Like, this is a full scale, just run into a wall type restaurant where you would just go and do 700 or 800 people in a shift. And again, just like maybe not the best way to learn, but a great eye-opening experience. Also 20 years old, right? Like running the streets, school to work to just like living on my own really for the first time. So maybe that's why that one always kind of sticks with me.
That's awesome. What would you consider your favorite style of cooking?
I guess my favorite style, is just real, honest, like Southern food. Just because it's what you grow up eating, or at least I did from South Carolina. And no matter what, you grow up, you run from home, you run from tradition, you run from everything else. As a young cook, you want to cook French food or Spanish food or German, Alsatian food, or now Japanese food. You have all this stuff and like you're learning and growing. But in the truth of it, at the end of the day, for me, that's what I kind of want to eat. It's kind of what reminds me of my family at home. I don't get to see them that much anymore. And so, wandering into a cafe, a cafeteria or like a meeting 2 or 3 kind of place just kind of reminds me of home. And
what is one aspect of cooking now that excites you?
The thing that I think excites me the most now is finding new or more local new purveyors, farmers, ingredients. Like it's taken a long time culturally for Virginia or for the states to really buy into local is better and supporting local, and kind of, the old adage of what goes together goes together. We take for granted that everyone that came before us, whether it be European people or French people or Italian people or Japanese people or whatever, they've been doing this for thousands of years, right? Like growing something, eating out of the garden. They do it commonly in the South and the Midwest, whatever, and now in California. But for the longest time, we as cooks, or me myself, were shipping stuff from Japan, wanting only white asparagus from the Netherlands because it's the best, or whatever. And now, you're like, man, this is an awesome Virginia thing. Like, we found something that we couldn't get.
Who's the most famous person you've cooked for?
Questlove.
Questlove.
Yeah,
that's
Questlove.
Awesome.
All kinds of blurs together. I would say like mid 2010s, like let's say 2015, Joe from Heritage and I went to Brooklyn to do this block party thing Questlove was like the MC and was there, but you know, we got to meet him and cook some stuff for him.
What's kind of one defining moment for you as a chef?
I think maybe just 2011, like opening the Roosevelt. Like, I mean, I've been gracious and, I've been lucky enough and try to be gracious enough to understand that, like, maybe my path has not been what others have had, and I've been super lucky.
Complete this sentence. I couldn't cook it all if you took away my blank.
Chef's knife?
Okay.
Maybe. I was gonna say cast iron pan, but yeah, let's say one of those. One of those would be my answer.
So we just heard about this pinnacle in your career, but what's better about being a chef today than when you opened your first restaurant?
Maybe being able to take a step back and at least appreciate everything that like past staff has done, what your family's done, how much you've had to take away from other parts of your life to try to focus on this one all-consuming thing. So I think that's the, 15 years later, the biggest thing is like to reflect and be like, man, like that was a pretty awesome ride. It's been a pretty cool.
What's unique about the Richmond restaurant scene?
What's unique about the Richmond? I would just say the community. The more I've been able to get out of town and do events all over the Southeast or Mid-Atlantic, the more you hear of like other folks, infighting and like not getting along and wanting to stomp each other out and like just being competitive in that sense. And I think that we realized early on as a community that what was kind of good for one was kind of good for all, and any light that was shown on our little city was very important for the next person that follows. And I would say maybe the community.
Do you have to be a bit of a scientist or a little crazy to be a great chef?
I would say maybe a bit of a scientist to be a baker or like a pastry chef. Maybe a little bit crazy too. I mean, there's probably a little bit of both of them, but I don't know that really either one of those. I think you just have to love, doing what you do.